Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda.
I heard my Guru Maharaj was saying that just like before Bhagavatam, you say Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. This is the prayer by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami that one should recite before Gaur Katha. So, okay, I think is Brinda ready? All right. So, thank you very much to all the devotees assembled here. And Brinda, you can take over. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Dandavat Pranam. Thank you all so much for being present here. And I will start by Mangalacharya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakha Nitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishavanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpa Tarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Vaipacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namayom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Jayasya Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachato Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you all for being present tonight. I can only give a bird's eye view of the Chaitanya Charitamrita without even touching the surface of the ocean of nectar in Chaitanya Charitamrita, as I have very less realizations about the teachings, and I am relying on the mercy of Guru and Gauranga and all of you to be able to share something that I have prepared today. Please bless me and forgive me for my shortcomings in presenting the pastimes and glories of Lord Chaitanya. So yesterday, we learned about the invocation and incarnation of Chaitanya Charitamrita presented by Vishnu Priya Didi and Pran Govinda Prabhu. So today we will be covering the education and transformation sections of the compact book. The first section, the first part is education, and in so earlier, the first 14 chapters of Adi Leela contain the invocation prayers by Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami and the incarnation of Lord Chaitanya. And the next two chapters that will describe the education of Nimai, which is divided into the following two themes: the life lessons of Nimai and him being a great scholar. As an overview of this section, Nimai learns a few key life lessons from his brother Vishwarup when he took sannyas and his father's departure from this world. Nimai starts his primary education and quickly becomes known for his scriptural scholarship. So the first theme is the life lessons that Nimai learns. The childhood pastimes of Nimai is called the Paugandalila, which is from age 5 to 10. To start Nimai's primary education, Jagannath Mishra performed the Hate Kari rite, which is the first time when Nimai begins to write at the age of 5. During his Paugandalila, Nimai was engaged in studying the scriptures and other intellectual pursuits. Meanwhile, he faced some challenging life lessons when his older brother Vishwarup left home to live as a sannyasi. Soon after, his father left his body, leaving Nimai to take up the household responsibilities, and his mother Sachimata was very much pleased to have Nimai married to Lakshmi Priya. The next theme is the theme of the great scholar. Nimai's next pastimes from age 15 to from age 11 to 15 are called the Kaishora Lila. This is when Nimai was simply 5 years old. He founded his own very school and he defeated the great philosophers, and soon his scholastic fame spread far and wide. Later, Nimai, leaving Navadip, traveled to East Bengal to enlighten Tapan Mishra, a great scholar, about the main goal of life. He taught him that devotional service and chanting the holy name is the conclusion of the Vedas. When Nimai was still in Navadip, Lakshmi Priya was bitten by the serpent of separation from Nimai, and she left the world. But for his mother's assurance, Nimai married Vishnupriya, who was a very gentle and chaste lady. Another pastime that solidified Nimai's scholarly position is when he defeated Keshav Kashmiri, who was a Digvijay Pandit. Although Nimai's pastimes displaying his scholarship in the scriptures was recognized by many people, his later absorption in chanting and dancing would make many people doubtful, and numerous people would label him as a sentimentalist and see bhakti yoga as a process for the less intelligent people. But Nimai's scholarly background shows that the ecstatic chanting of the holy names is the Vedic conclusion. It is very important for us to understand that God can only be realized through the purification of our consciousness and pure devotion instead of any other means of analytical studies. There are many people who think that bhakti yoga is easy and therefore it is for the less intelligent people who cannot understand the scriptures. If this was so, then why don't the Mayavadis and the Gyanis perform bhakti yoga? Srila Prabhupada used to challenge them to practice bhakti yoga, but they could not do so for a long time. He explains that bhakti yoga is both easy and difficult. What is easy about bhakti yoga? It is the process that is very easy compared to other difficult processes of self-realization. What is difficult about bhakti yoga? It is the application of the practices in our life, in our daily life, that is difficult. To continue to follow the rules and regulations and to avoid the 10 offenses to the holy name is what makes it difficult to practice or keep practicing bhakti yoga. So the second section is transformation. Um, and in this part of Adi Lila, the transformation of Lord Chaitanya is described in chapter 17. This chapter describes the 5 main themes of transformation: the turning point, birth of Kirtan, exhibitions of divinity, overcoming opposition, and the world is my family. So in a nutshell, um, in this section, Nimai gets initiated into chanting the holy name. He popularizes the Harinam Sankirtan movement, and he takes sannyas to spread the Sankirtan movement in a wider scale. So the first theme of transformation is the turning point. So the turning point of Nimai's life was when Ishar Puri initiated him into chanting the Maha Mantra of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sri Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita boldly states that one attains perfection when he surrenders his mind, body, and word to God. To demonstrate this very absolute truth to everyone, Lord Krishna appears as Lord Chaitanya and surrenders himself to Krishna's names. Before fulfilling his main mission of propagating the Sankirtan movement, Nimai personally shows his own transformation by surrendering to the holy name, and he shows everyone the power of chanting. The second theme is the birth of Kirtan. When Nimai returned to Navadip, everyone was surprised by Nimai's amazing transformation and realized that he had become a great devotee. The Nimai who was engaged in logic and debating with scholars was now fully immersed into chanting the holy name and spreading the glories of the Harinam Sankirtan. Many people think God is an outside spectator of this world and he is out of our reach. But the chanting of the holy names of Krishna allows us to be in direct contact with him right now, because there's no difference between him and his name. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 17, verse 133, it is stated, Nama Chinta Manihi Krishnas Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Purna Shuddha Nitya Mukta Abhinatva Nama Namino. The translation is as follows. The holy name of Krishna is transcendently blissful. It bestows all spiritual benedictions, for it is Krishna himself, the reservoir of all pleasure. Krishna's name is complete and it is the form of all transcendental mellows. It is not a material name under any condition. It is no less powerful than Krishna himself. Since Krishna's name is not contaminated by the material qualities, there is no question of its being involved with Maya. Krishna's name is always liberated and spiritual. It is never conditioned by the laws of material nature. It is because the name of Krishna and Krishna himself are identical. The third theme is exhibitions of divinity. Besides performing ecstatic chanting, Nima exhibited his divinity through a chain of supernatural events, such as the Mahaprakash Leela, Sadhpuja Darshan, seeing Krishna and Balaram, the Mango Party, Chaitanya Sima, Yamuna Akarshan Leela, and other events at Shivas Thakur's house. The fourth theme is overcoming the opposition. Even though Nimai rejoiced at the private Sankirtan gatherings of Shiva's Thakur's house, he brought the Sankirtan party to the streets of Navadip, where thousands of locals joined the movement. But of course, wherever there is propagation of the holy name, obstacles from many groups of people also follows. The most infamous story is of how Jagai and Madai striked Nityananda Prabhu in their attempt to stop the Sankirtan party. But by Nityananda Prabhu's causeless mercy, they both began chanting the holy names and transformed their sinful way of life. Another example is of Gopal Jabal, who, having committed an offense unto Shiva's Thakur, he suffered from leprosy, but by Shiva's Thakur's forgiveness and by his mercy, he was saved. Another example is of Chand Ghazi. He initially opposed to the Sankirtan party, but later he agreed to allow for the Sankirtan party to go on. And this shows how the power of the unstoppable Sankirtan movement. All these oppositions are not much of a surprise in this age of Kali, as Lord Krishna states that irreligion is to be taken as religion and true religion is to be taken as irreligion. In the purport of Srimad Bhagavatam in Canto 1, in the first canto, chapter 1, and verse 2, Srila Prabhupada states that in the material world, there is keen competition between animal and animal, man and man, community and community, nation and nation. But the devotees of the Lord rise above such competitions. They do not compete with the materialist because they're on the path back to Godhead, where life is eternal and blissful. Such transcendentalists are non-envious and pure in heart. In the material world, everyone is envious of everyone else, and therefore there is competition. But the transcendental devotees of the Lord are not only free from material envy, but are well-wishers to everyone, and they strive to establish a competition-less society with God in the center. These heroic pastimes of the sincere devotees prove to us that they will always face challenges from other groups, but they will ultimately rise victorious in their attempts to spread the genuine spiritual movement by their persistent determination, tolerance, and humility. The fifth theme is the world is my family. When some foolish members of the society would misunderstand Nimai's emotional outbursts and criticize him, he decided that it was time for him to change his position in the society and accept the sannyas order of life. When he accepted the sannyas order of life or sannyas, this gave him more authority over everyone, and people would respect him. This resulted in multitude of opportunities for the Lord to preach the holy name exceptionally. Even though it was a painful choice to leave his mother and his young wife, it had to be done. Nimai was now shaved, headed, and dressed in saffron, and released, and he ended all of his social ties, and he became known as Sri Krishna Chaitanya. In this way, Sri Chaitanya performed all his Leela in order to distribute the love of Krishna to the rest of the world. And in conclusion to the Adi Leela, we learn that Sri Chaitanya's life goes through two big transformations. His absorption in the holy name through the Mahamantra initiation by Ishwar Puri, and his acceptance of the renounced order, which inaugurated the beginning of his large-scale traveling and preaching. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Thank you so much for patiently listening to me and not running away or leaving the meeting. And please forgive me for all my mistakes that I've made knowingly and unknowingly. I know that we all are very eager and impatient to hear from Pran Govinda Prabhu in greater depth about the rest of Adi Leela pastimes of Mahaprabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mother Brinda Devi, you are wonderful. Wow. I could not have done better. You did much better than I even thought. So nice. Thank you. That's wonderful. So we're going to do a little meditation before I start. I would request 14 participants. In your subtle body, if you can collect some flower, fragrance flower, and offer the flower to your Guru, then to Srila Prabhupada, and as we go in Mangalacharan, we're going to offer flower to all the way to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and then Radha Krishna. Okay? So please, you can close your eye, fold your hand. As you first going to the first person, your Gurudev, you offer the flower to his feet. You can make a garland in your meditation. And if you say that why is this idea coming from? This idea coming from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that actually there's a Nishingananda Brahmachari who was meditating and literally brought Mahaprabhu where he needed to bring him. And one quote is given that devotees should meditate. 12.12 Bhagavad Gita says, Srehi genam abhasat gena denam vishishate denat karma phalo tega santi nirantaram. If you engage your intelligence in the process right now we are suggesting, you will be able to meditate. And if you meditate on the lotus feet of those Guru, Vaishnavas and Mahaprabhu, all the impression that disturbing you in your spiritual life will disappear. Then what will happen? Santi Nirantaram, uninterrupted, a mystical happiness and peace, satisfaction will come where you can progress very easily. Without satisfaction, without Brahmabhuta stage, you cannot perform pure devotional service. You cannot show me anywhere Prabhupada said that. Brahmabhuta prasanna Atma. Atma has to be prasanna. Mad bhakti lavate param. From there you can attain the bhakti, pure bhakti. So please join. Even if you never did it, just do it, please. Just offer the flower, but make a nice flower, has a fragrance. Gardenia, Jui, Champa, all this that you offer to the lotus feet. Okay. Om Ajnanati Mirandhasa Enanjana Salakayam Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurube Namah Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Sayam Rupa Kada Mahiyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Jutapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathannitam Sajivam Sadaitam Sabadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakha Nitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutalem Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunnavadi पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति सिद्धान्त स्वामिनीति नामिने श्रीवासवानवी देवी दयिताय कृपादये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः माधुर्योज्जल प्रेमाद श्री रूपानुग भक्तिद श्री गौर करुणा शक्ति विग्रहाय नमस्तुते नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुग विरुद्धाप सिद्धांत धांत हारिणे नमो गौर किशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्य मूर्तये विप्रलंबर सांबोधे पदाम्बुजायते नमः नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानंद नामिने गौर शक्ति स्वरूपाय रूपानुग वरायते गौराविर्भाव भूमेस्तां निर्देष्ट सज्जन प्रिय वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः वंशा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो 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 महावदान्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिसे नमः शंकर सनकर्ण तयसाई गर्भदसाई पयोक्तिसाई शशश्च संसकला सनित्यानंदक्षराम शरणं ममास्तु पंचतत्मात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूप स्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताक्षं नमामि भक्त शक्तिकम् हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते जयतां सुरत पंगुर्मम मंदमतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्व पदाम्बुजो राधा मदन मोहनो दिव्याद वृंदारण्य कल्पद्रुमाद श्रीमद रत्नगार सिंहासनस्थो ऋषिराध शिल गोविंद देव पृष्ठलीभिषेव्यमान स्मरामि श्रीमान रासरसारंभी वंशी वाटा तटस्थित कर्षण वेणु सनैर्गोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीयस्तु नः तप्त कंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये देवी कृष्णमयी प्रभा राधिका परदेवता सर्वलक्ष्मीमयी सर्वकान्ति सम्मोहिनी परां वृंदाये तुलसी देवाय प्रियाये केशवस्य च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवती नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तबिंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 First of all, I thank to Mother Brinda Devi for well prepared, and she pointed the key notes, I would say, on these two subjects. Well, three chapters, I would say. more than these just two subjects, because actually three chapter Adi Leela 15, 16, and 17 is wonderful. And I'm also very grateful to be here with all of you. And I appreciate Sadhadev Prabhu and Gopal Radhe Prabhu for arranging such a wonderful Gaur Katha festival. Before I used to think a lot of devotee should join all the time, that's true. But one lecture of Srila Prabhupada made me very much convinced it does not matter whether everybody join or not, you go on. Srila Prabhupada said, even if a core devotee, core means few who are serious and sincere, if they keep on practicing, then it will affect the rest of the community or the rest of the city or country. So it is very important that at least core devotees are very seriously taking this process. Of course, we should encourage everyone, but I guess we don't expect everyone. Prabhupada also gave, the more advanced you are considering buying a diamond. And I know buying diamond, how expensive it is. Not that every person who walk by will buy the diamond. It has to be a person who is very wealthy. You have to have a lot of money. One time in my life, I sold one diamond was $162,000. That's it, never more than that. But that was a lot of money, $162,000, one diamond. So Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness is like a diamond shop. You don't expect everybody to become very immediately, because they have to have a wealth, means they have to have a faith and belief, bhakti unmukhi sukriti, all these things in order for them to actually participate all the time and become serious. And those who are already there, I bow down to their lotus feet, all of you. I bow down to your feet, because this is wonderful example. I get inspiration from you all. I'm also eternally indebted to Prabhupada for making this wonderful Krishna consciousness society all over the world. We just had a today with a North Carolina group just 1 hour before we ended. It was nice, very nice. The devotees are fired up. They're also same. Small group, but was about 30 devotees, but very nice. They're all enthusiastic, seriously thinking of Krishna. And New Orleans devotees are wonderful. I think they're very special heart they have. Krishna put them there. There's a reason for why. I'm very thankful that I could do some service to all of you. So on the chapter 15, the education about Nimai, because of the time, I have 1 hour, right? Am I calculating wrong?
Yes, you have almost like yes, you can take 1 hour. So
Okay.
until 8:40 you can do, and then 20 minutes or 10
Well,
minutes
it's
you can do.
7:36 right now.
7:36 for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so until 8:36 you can do, and then 10
Okay.
15 minutes we can take question
Wonderful.
answers.
Thank you. So here in this wonderful demonstration, and also just to let everybody know, the devotee Sutapa Prabhu who composed this book, he will be with us tomorrow. I had a little chit chat with him. He will join also to see how we all are encouraged, and he will also try to participate with us, so that he's very humble devotee. I love him. We are like buddies. So he will join, and tomorrow I think Gopal Radhe Prabhu decided what time Jishnu Prabhu is beginning. It was 11 o'clock your time.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. We have a time change that I will be announcing at the end. But that Prabhuji told it, so we'll do it tomorrow, not in the evening, because His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj will be here. There will be another class in the evening. So tomorrow's program will be in the morning. 11 to 1, 11 to 12:31. So please make a note of that. Same place, same link. Thank you.
Thank you. So here, two things are most prominent in these three chapters. Actually, all over Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhaktivinoda Thakur said we should see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lilamay and Karunamay. Anything that you are seeing him involved, his conversation, his challenge with Keshav Kashmiri, he was learning under uh, first teacher was Vishnu, then Sudarshan, then Gangadas, the three teachers in his life. Then very soon, after a few years, at the age of 11, he opened his own tool. That was very miracle. And in all these details explanation in Chaitanya Bhagavat, common thing is that today I'm going to I was meditating on it actually since last night after we finished, that if we can focus on four things. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu cares for us. What is care means? We're going to discuss. Care, I found, means responsibility. Care also means he has affection. Care also means he pay attention. Care also means worry. So Chaitanya, how it is revealed, then I can see all these three chapters, all these examples that I was going through. I was hearing and looking at this chapter, that his relationship with the teachers and students for both, it's all about care. He cares for everyone. He's such a lovable master that he really cares for everyone. How to see it? Let's see. Now, in this three chapter, of course, we are going very quick. There's a Ekadashi story, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked his mother, then of course about the betel nut story, how he fainted, how he was such a loving child, Nimai, that he cares for his parents. He cares so much of his parents that he even told his parents that I'm not going to take sannyas. Vishwarup came to me and he told me to take sannyas. I said, no, I don't know what sannyas means. I rather want to get married and serve my parents. This way, Lakshmi Narayan, God will be happy. And the parents were very happy, because he cares. Then, of course, when Vishwarup, due to his separation feeling, Father Jagannath Mishra passed away, then what happened to Mother Sati, that Nimai saw the need, so he got married to Lakshmi Priya Devi, and then he was just like householder Grihastha. He actually went out to Sylhet to earn money for the family, and he actually got very popularity, and he made a very good savings. There was no bank those days, and he brought a lot of money. Then, of course, in the meantime, Lakshmi Priya also left this world due to the separation, and he was counseling. It was very nice how there's a verse long time back in Mayapur we learned, Prabhu kahe sukote ji suno mora mata nirbandhana guchen likan vidata. And I remember we had a discussion that how Nimai Pandit, he was giving a beautiful explanation for the human being. This is a good lesson for us. Nothing you can do to make your happiness or suffering penny more or penny less. Those who are human being is fixed, done. It is not the amount, it is not the job, it is the experience that you will have with the material senses the exact amount of happiness and suffering, it's already fixed. And more further, you can type it on Veda base on Prabhupada, and Prabhupada hammered it. Prabhupada said, if you are meant to get 10,000, you will not get 10,001 or 9,999. He didn't say dollar or rupees, he just gave the number. Bhakti is the only thing you can increase. As for material happiness, you may say, oh, I came to America, I am now better than if I was in India. No, it's already, the amount of happiness is already there, whether you are in America or in India or anywhere in the world. So this is a beautiful teaching Mahaprabhu taught because he cares for us. It's a wonderful. Then of course, he remarried to Mother Vishnupriya. Sorry, not remarried. He remarried one more time. He got married to Mother Vishnupriya. And Banamali, who is Vishwanath, very wonderful pastimes. If you remember, Prabhupada even gave a purport. It's wonderful pastimes that Vishwamitra, Prabhupada writes here that he was formerly Vishwamitra who negotiated the marriage of Lord Ramachandra. And later on, he is the same person, Vishwamitra, who is the matchmaker, you can say, matchmaker for Krishna and Rukmini. Now he is a matchmaker of Lord Chaitanya and Mother Vishnupriya. It's interesting. You know, he travels in every millennium and he becomes the matchmaker of the Lord and Lakshmi Devi. Wonderful. Vrindavan Das Thakur has given very details in his book about the marriage. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will not see so much. And the reason is because here they want to emphasize the importance of essential principle of the pastime. Is not all pastimes, which is also important, but here is more of a essential. So I'm going to dive immediately to how Mahaprabhu cared. Mahaprabhu cared because, can I ask everybody to fold hand and repeat after me one verse? This is a verse you should always remember. If you have a trouble in life, you can always memorize that verse. 3 times you chant, you see the trouble goes away. Actually, many devotees in Alacho, they experience when we are hammering this. This is Adi Lila chapter 14.1. Please repeat after me. Kathanchana smrite, oh, maybe long. Kathanchana smrite jasmin duskaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparit sat Sri Chaitanya namamitam. Everybody should memorize this because this verse says that anytime, even you have a difficult life or difficult job to be performed, but if you just evoke the chanting of Mahaprabhu's name, your job or whatever you're going through will be easy. And things become difficult because we forget Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is a beautiful verse, actually practical application. We can use that. Now, question comes, what is the benefit of this discussion all over the world devotees are doing? This verse, I was listening to one Prabhupada's lecture and he was hammering on this verse 18.68. That Jaidam Paramam Guhyam Mad Bhaktesho Vidashyati Bhaktim Mai Param Kritta Mame Vashyasya Samsaya. If you discuss this confidential pastime of Lord Chaitanya amongst the devotees, if we discuss, what will happen? Bhaktim Mai Param Kritta, you will definitely get awake your love for me. This is very far out. And then he says, Mam eva ashyasi, asamsaya, without doubt you will come to me. So those who are in the Zoom right now, we are hearing or speaking, conversing, we all will awake our love for the Lord and will go back home, back to garden. And this is, and Prabhupada translate that verse for one who explained the supreme secret to the devotees. Pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me without fail. Now question comes, helping one person may not change the world, but you can change that person's world, isn't it? So when we aspire to become an agent of Krishna, positive change in the world. Today one friend of mine says, can you send me something positive? I need some inspiration positive. So I sent one quote of Prabhupada, and then he sent me a text back, say, I needed it, thank you. And then I got another two from another two devotees. It was very interesting. So when we aspire to become an agent of positive change in the world, our mind internally and our acquaintances externally may discourage us. What can you do alone? The world is a bad place. It's not my opinion. Krishna says, Dukkhalaya Masashvatam. Krishna says it is Dukkhalaya, like Bhojanalaya, Oshodalaya, Dukkhalaya. It's a house of Dukkha. But this world is not some amorphous, evil, abstraction. It is made of people like you, me, all essentially like us. If we help even one of them, Srila Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, I'm sure some of you read that, even if one person become pure devotee, he will feel success. One person, you can read in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes. So, we must help others. And this is what Mahaprabhu's this pastime is. He cares for us. And Mahaprabhu actually reveals how we can be part of the plan for a bigger than what we think. We have our small world. When we join with Mahaprabhu's plan, we can help people in various valuable ways. We can help them best by connecting them with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who can offer the greatest help. We all are Krishna's part and parcel. We all know. Dasa no das, servant of the servant. I have one friend always write, the servant of the servant of the servant. My gosh, such a wonderful. It's more greedy there. More you are servant, you get more relishment. So on realizing that we can be part of the divine master plan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can feel sublimely energized in our efforts to help others. Even if we can help one person, we are now 15 devotee participants. If 15 devotee help only another 15 more. Just one person, if we help. Then their world, what they had before they met you, will be completely changed. And pertinently, Mahaprabhu, this section teaches those who share his message of divine love that inspires people to connect with Krishna. What if people are not receptive to Mahaprabhu's teaching? We may think, we do think sometimes. If they just hear about Mahaprabhu's message, even once in their heart will be planted a spiritual seed. And Prabhupada very heavily, one of the purport in 17th chapter is big, 356 verse, something like that. That spiritual seed that you just mentioned, like one time Mother Vishnupriya said she gave a samosa to her friend, Kormi friend. And they adore it, they appreciate it because her father he made the best samosa or something like that. Anyway, it was a prasadam. I investigated, was it prasadam offered? Yes, everything. That little seed will blossom this life or next life, you don't know. That couple or that two friends that she shared the prasadam, they will come and join. May not be in presence of your life or in your temple, but they will. More importantly, for us, we ourselves will be enriched by the deep contemplation necessary for sharing its message. And we will see how so many people actually got, by sharing this, got benefited. So, studying this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, savoring and sharing empower us. I really want everybody to think. They actually, when you study and share, it will empower each of you and to change the world. Your world doesn't have to be everybody's world. One person's world at a time. And this is what Mahaprabhu exhibited in this 3 chapter. So, in the chapter 17, I'm going to go to there. There's a beautiful verse. It says in Adi 8.10, Morona manile sab loka hobe nas, ite lagi kriparda prabhu korila sannas. How to see that Mahaprabhu's, I'm going to just give you a little synopsis and come back. Just imagine, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the time of 24 years old, he made a big decision. End of 17th chapter today, that Mother Binder finished. There's a whole explanation about what prepared Mahaprabhu to take sannyas, why he was feeling to take sannyas. Not for himself only. It is for, he cares for us. He's caring for others because he has an affection. Care means affection. Care means attention. Care means reciprocation and responsibility. How is that? We're going to discuss. So now I'm going to give you a little story, how you all know already, but just to remember that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, at the age of 24, he made the big decision in his life. What did he do? He will take sannyas. Now that is a big decision for anyone at any time in their life. His mother was 70 years old. So when mother and his wife, Vishnupriya, was 16 years old, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made a firm conviction that I'll take sannyas. So when Mother Sachi found out, it was so painful, so overwhelmingly painful. Mother Sachi in her early days had lost 6 daughters. All died immediately after birth. Then gave birth son Vishwarup. At 12 years old, Vishwarup took sannyas. Then what happened? Her husband Jagannath Mishra, in separation from Vishwarup, he also left this world. Mother Sachi arranged for her son Nimai to marry Lakshmi Priya. When Nimai went to East Bengal, Sylhet, on travel, the separation was so much intense, Lakshmi Priya also died. Can you see the series of calamities in her life? If you think you have a string of bad luck, think for a moment how much care Mother Sachi and Mahaprabhu has for everybody in this world. How we're going to discuss that. So then now Nimai said, I'll take sannyas also. And if Nimai would leave, how would she know that Vishwarup, Mother Vishnupriya, like Lakshmi Priya, would survive if Nimai takes sannyas? Maybe Vishnupriya would die from separation also. Then again she would be alone. So for Sachi Mata, Mother Sachi, this was too much to take. She was crying and crying. How could you take sannyas? So Nimai, in a different way, tried to pacify her and giving a good argument. He said, Mother, it is the duty of the son, of each son, when the son grows up, he should leave home, go abroad, earn money, wealth, then come back, give the wealth to the family. And the highest wealth is Pramadhan, love of Godhead. So I am grown up. Allow me to leave home. I will go get love of Godhead, and then it will be shared with you, with Vishnu Priya, with everybody, whole world. Of course, Mahaprabhu left Navadvip. He made a journey with a few associates, then traveled to Katwa. In Katwa, Keshav Bharati awarded Nimai the order of sannyas, became known as Sri Krishna Chaitanya with his danda, shaved head. It was too much for the associate. Although it was painful for them, they were also thinking about Sachimata, the residents of Navadvip, and how much separation they must be feeling. Nityananda Prabhu said at that time, I have to do something to benefit the Navadvipvasi, Bengalis, Mahaprabhu's Priyajans. So then he tricks Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to go to Santipur. Mahaprabhu, he was so much absorbed in that mood to go to Vrindavan. I want to go to Vrindavan. And he has ecstasy, he lost external consciousness. Nityananda Prabhu said, came here. Sannasi, where are you going? Vrindavan, I'll take you to Vrindavan. Nityananda Prabhu took advantage of Mahaprabhu's ecstasy. He even misguided him. Took him to Santipur. So Mahaprabhu, even as Nityananda Prabhu was going, there was a lot of young Bengali boys. They're herding the cows. And Nityananda Prabhu told them, when this sannyasi asks which way Vrindavan, you tell him this way, not that way, this way. So Nityananda Prabhu told them, oh, to direct the sannyasis. So when Mahaprabhu asked them, oh, which way is Vrindavan? They said this way, not that way. Mahaprabhu was so happy with them because they are helping. They got love of Godhead, even though they lied. This is the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. They literally got Krishna Prem by Mahaprabhu's embrace and blessing because they are helping him to go to Vrindavan. And then, of course, as you know, the story how Nityananda Prabhu took advantage of that ecstasy and misguided him to come. Now Mahaprabhu as a new sannyasi arrived in Santipur. Of course, in the Ganges, where he met Advaita Acharya, he was surprised. How did you know I'm in Vrindavan? And then, of course, in their conversation, he said, you're not in Vrindavan. Then he says, so Nityananda Prabhu actually cheated me. So no, he would not lie. Because wherever you are, where is Vrindavan? Wherever you are, Mahaprabhu. Wherever Lord Chaitanya is, that is Vrindavan. It's a very nice conclusion. Then, after some time, Nityananda Prabhu made a big announcement to all those Navadvipvasi. He cares for them. He literally cares. Even Mother Sochi, for 3 days, she did not eat or cook or anything. Nityananda Prabhu told Mother Sochi, just because one son took sannyas, you're going to punish the other son? I haven't eaten 3 days. I may die also. One son took sannyas, now you told me before, I look like your other son, Vishwarup, and I'm hungry. I may die also if you don't cook. So Mother Sochi felt guilty. Actually, he brought her out of this depression. And she immediately took bath and started cooking. Then Nityananda Prabhu went in Navadvip, announced everybody. The most rare opportunity, divine couple together came as Nimai from your own village, but you did not recognize. How is this? How is that you did not recognize? He can give you all your problem solution. Even Devananda Pandit, who could not recognize at that time, all of them, everybody started crying and crying and crying and crying. Is it true that actually he is the Supreme Lord, Nimai? He left our home. He was here with us. We did not know. So Nityananda Prabhu brought all those thousands. Why? Because Nityananda Prabhu saw Mahaprabhu cares for halfway shaving Madhu Napit, the Barbar Madhu. Nityananda Prabhu's tears was coming in separation from Vrindavan, Krishna. Then Madhu Napit, the beauty, the charmness of his face and the curly hair, it was very hard for him to shave. So he started crying. He could not even shave properly. He has to wipe his tears all the time to look at Mahaprabhu's head. He didn't want to do mistake, but it was like painful because he didn't know why such a beautiful, handsome, most attractive person has to take sannyas. Why? Some Brahmana started arguing in Katwa. Why he's taking sannyas? Then the rumor started, oh, because it says in the Shastra. Which Shastra says this? And somebody says, you know, this is Nimai Pandit. He defeated Digvijay, Keshav Kashmiri. Today we also read Keshav Kashmiri, Mother Binda explained. And it was going on and on and on. It was such a wonderful that thousands and thousands of people who came for some festival there, Sankranti, that they all of a sudden started paying attention to Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu just watching. Why is he taking sannyas? He already heard from him. But now he's seeing in action that Mahaprabhu actually induced everyone. First time they met him in Katwa to chant and rolling on the ground and cry for Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu saw, aha, this is how he's going to do it. But he left the Navadvipvashi. They did not get that. They got, but not all of them got it. So in the Santipur, Nityananda Prabhu very nicely arranged that. When all the Navadvipvashi came, Mother Sochi Mata came, Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so loving to his mother. He said, Mother, I'm just a little ignorant child. What do I know? I am sorry I did it out of just whimsically. If you want me to just give up the sannyas and go back, I'll do that. Mother Sochi was thinking, I'm a daughter of Nilambar Chakravarti, very famous Pandit scholar. All the Brahmana respect my family. I come from there. My husband is well known by all the Brahmana. They all adore and respect. I will not do something that will be a bad name for me or my family or my son. So then she chose voluntarily. No, Nimai, what you have taken for the welfare of the whole world. And I have to sacrifice that. I understand. She started crying and speaking. And Nimai started crying, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he said, only I have two requests. That you live nearby, don't go to Vrindavan. You live nearby, maybe Puri, Jagannath Puri. Of course, there is a hidden reason, but this was externally her own request that you should stay in Jagannath Puri, not to go anywhere. And that here, while you are in Santipur, you allow me to cook. I want to feed you. Then Mahaprabhu says, of course, you can do that. So both requested. Then all these thousands of people came. And Mahaprabhu came out of that room. When he came out, this form, they never saw Navadvipvashi. They saw him like a million moon together, shining effulgence, sannyasi dress, bright effulgence like a billions of Brahma Jyotis, sun, moon together are emanating from his body. And he's crying like this. with raised hand, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just by having one darshan, all these thousands of Navadvipasi get drowned into ecstasy of chanting and chanting. Of course, Mahaprabhu, before he left, he explained this, why he did, why what he's doing or why he did. Mahaprabhu actually predicted this. You all know this would happen. In his previous incarnation, he was Lord Ramchandra. And Ramchandra came one time to the area of Navadvip, specifically came to the island of Madradramdip. There he was with Sita Devi. Bhaktivinoda Thakur nicely explained that one day out of the blue, Ramchandra told to Sita Devi, in my next incarnation, I'll come in a golden form and you will come also. Your name will be Vishnupriya. And Kausala will come, she will be Mother Sachimata. So Mahaprabhu actually revealed this before. It's not something new. In that next incarnation, I'll take sannyas. So he already predicted this. Of course, Sita Devi says, why? Why will you take sannyas? And then Lord Ram told to her, I'll take sannyas because in this incarnation, we will enter both into forest. In this incarnation, when I am Ram, you are Sita, I will come running in separation after your golden form. In the next incarnation, I'll get my own back and I'll be in golden form and I'll enter in the forest and you will be come running after me crying in separation. So it's a kind of a pre-predicted, you can say. Then in Chaitanya Charitamrita it says, Tare pradakshina kari karila gaman eta acharjer ghare utila krandan. Utila krandan. When everything was arranged, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu circumambulated his mother, Parikrama, then started for Jagannath Puri in the house of Advaita Acharya. There arose tumultuous crying. What kind of crying was it? That it cracks the heart of Pashandis. Those who don't believe, even Muslim or Javanas, whoever, they also came, hundreds and hundreds of them. Hearing this, such a genius, brilliant person defeated Digvijay. His wonderful, beautiful, beautiful wife, Lakshmi, direct Lakshmi is there in the house. Beautiful mothers, affectionate mother. Still he took sannyas. Even the Muslim could not comprehend the separation feeling. Mahaprabhu, like this, he went to Jagannath Puri, made it his headquarters. So the subject that this ended this today's with this sannyas lila very nicely. The next tomorrow will be more. That where Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri, so much that Mahaprabhu did, he spent 24 years. But really, we see that he did few major things. The first 6 of the 24, Mahaprabhu mainly engaged in preaching. When he took sannyas, he immediately left for South India and inundated South India with love of Godhead. What's very interesting, Prabhupada mentioned that he gave something in South India that he didn't give in Bengal. Can anybody know what is the missing part? Why he did not distribute Krishna Prem in Bengal so much later? Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because they are Tarkic. They like to argue. They like to argue. Because we see this, it was after this that some jealous, low-minded Brahmana of Kulia picked a quarrel with Mahaprabhu and collected a party to oppose him. You know that story today, 17th chapter explained. Dimai Pandit was naturally soft-hearted person. Though strong in his principles, he declared that party feelings, sectarianism, were the two greatest enemy of progress. We should remember this. Mahaprabhu said this. We should be very careful. Oh, I only care for my brother and sister and parents and my relative or whomever I like in this Vaishnava community. This is dangerous. You have to get out of this groupism. He then resolved to be a citizen of the world by cutting his connection with his particular family, caste, creed. With this resolution, he embraced the position of sannyas at Katwa. Under the guidance of Keshav Bharati, as I mentioned, that he left this little world of Navadvip with his entourage. Why? To distribute all over the world. Now, I was thinking also, in our spiritual practice, we are measuring our progress. Few ways we can measure. One of the ways is that the taste. And what is that taste? Taste has a distaste of the material enjoyment. If we are feeling little bit distaste of the material possession, material enjoyment, then spiritual taste is coming, because taste is the test whether we're progressing or not. You can say very easily, give up everything you have. What do you have? Anybody here in the Zoom can say, what do you have? Really? Really, what do you have? Nothing. To be honestly, if you examine your heart, you have an experience. The wealth you have, what? About your birth, how you grow up, your old age coming, and you see people are dying, and people are getting sick, COVID-19. That's all you have. Whether you like or not, this will all pass. They will leave you. Haribol, Prabhus and mothers. All these experience you have, they will leave you. They will disappoint you. So really, you have nothing. What Mahaprabhu is asking is not like a painful renunciation. He is asking, give up the attraction for the present environment. Please remember that. Give up the attraction for the present environment, that we can enjoy this world. This attraction has to be given up. This is Mahaprabhu's giving. And Mahaprabhu inviting, jump, come to me. I shall give you shelter. You will be compensated, employed. This is the call of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu says, take the name. He demonstrated in chapter 17 also his gifts. And prepare yourself. Haribol, Prabhus and Mother, prepare yourself every day to go home. Not New Orleans or Alachua home. I mean the real home. Every day you should think, am I preparing myself to go home, go back home? Why? You are not created for trifling in this dishonorable life. Your home is there. You are in the midst of cremation ground. To drive to Alachua temple, we have a 2 graveyard. We drive by. It's very interesting. But Mahaprabhu came to invite you. Come. You can come there. Where? An honorable land, where you are respected. We are looking for our own honor. It's deep down in our heart. Why? Because we have an honorable position in spiritual world. We have a relationship with the greatest person. We have a loving sentiment. We have all this. So save yourself, Prabhus and mothers, from the cremation ground. Save yourself and try to attain your inner fulfillment and the worth of your existence there. Mahaprabhu took sannyas to teach us that, to take us up and make us a permanent residence, permanent inhabitant of Golok Vrindavan. He says that actually, our real self lives in that plane, not in America. But unfortunately, our consciousness has become focused outside. Now we are captured by the mundane aspect of this creation and think that we are suffering. But this is all illusion. We must get relief from this mania. You know the word mania? Mania means madness. Now we are possessed by some mania. Just as a madman leaves his home, wanders in the street, collecting pieces of paper and cloth all over, everywhere homeless is there. We are like this. We are barely like trying to make some money from a job, and here they are trying to survive because we are homeless. We will awaken and go back home. That is important. So in the beginning, I was mentioning that how Mahaprabhu, Mother Brinda was mentioning that, I don't know if she touched that, how the student and Mahaprabhu had a confrontation. Mahaprabhu, out of separation in the side of the gopis when Krishna left Vrindavan, so he was so absorbed in that, so he was uttering the name Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And some student says, what are you chanting? You are such a genius scholar. You are our teacher. You became so different after you came back from Gaya. Mahaprabhu is drowning everybody into holy name. But they could not understand because they are so grossly attached to the mundane. At least chant Krishna's name or some God name. Why Gopi, Gopi? What benefit you will get? Mahaprabhu did not want to hear Krishna because he is in the side of the gopis. He's seeing that Krishna left them. This is such a terrible suffering. They gave up everything for him and he gave them up. That was very painful. So Mahaprabhu in that separation, and this boys says, no, this is not a good idea. You should chant God's name, not this name. Then Mahaprabhu took a stick and chased them away. So they go back. You know that we have a union in the university or school. We have like our own buddies in the student. They all gather together. They say, you know, Nimai Pandit, what he did, he was trying to beat us up. And they talk, you know, after he came back from Gaya. But Mahaprabhu's idea is he wants all those Navadvip Bashi, especially his student, should be drowned into Krishna consciousness. Just like Prabhupada. He faced so struggle in India. He even asked his best friend, one lecture he says, to give his son to make Krishna conscious. And Prabhupada was like regretting. He says, after some days, my friend says, Maharaj, what he will do by becoming devotee? He has to beg, he become a beggar. Prabhupada felt very shocked that how people think of Krishna consciousness. Now, of course, they're coming all forward. But those days, Prabhupada had the same thing what Mahaprabhu went through. So then all these students, they gathered. Next time Nimai does this, we're going to beat him up. Now Mahaprabhu in the heart of those students, and he immediately felt horrible. He said, I came here to give them Krishna consciousness. Now they commit offense. They want to beat me. They do not know I'm the origin Supreme Lord. Just because they thought and made the decision, they have to go to hell forever. Okay, what did he do? He cared for them. So he became responsible. What does that mean? Care means responsibility. So Mahaprabhu says, 8.10, you can look at that verse, one of the verse I memorized also. Morona manile sab locus habe nas. Ite lagi kripardo Prabhu korila sannas. He says, I cannot change them. But if I take sannyas, they will bow down because that's the culture in that time. In Vedic culture in Bengal, you see a sannyasi, you just pay obeisances. Wherever you see a sannyasi, you always respect. So Mahaprabhu says, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought, unless people accept me, they will be destroyed. So merciful Lord, when he took sannyas, and Prabhupada says very interestingly, Prabhupada said, and paraphrasing, he said, because of this consideration that the Lord accepted sannyas. That descript, that explanation is so graphic that Mahaprabhu was so concerned. He felt it, that is his responsibility. Now imagine if somebody wants to beat you up, what are you going to do? You thinking of their welfare, or you thinking of like, oh, who cares? They should have accident and they should be finished. No, that is not a compassion. Mahaprabhu's compassion is mercy, that he cares. What does that means? He felt responsible for them. That they are doing mistake, but he felt responsible. So he said, if I take sannyas, then what will happen? Nabuddive jai shakti na korila prakase, sei shakti prakasi nistarila dakshin deshe. What Mahaprabhu, that's why in Bengal or Navadip, he could not give Krishna consciousness. That was another reason why he left. He didn't like this small town that who did not care. Of course, then when Mahaprabhu felt very confident that, okay, and he consulted with Nityananda Prabhu that night, that when I take sannyas, they will pay me obeisances. And when they pay me obeisances, all their offenses will be disappearing. As soon their offense disappear, their distress will be diminished. And because I want to give them Krishna conscious love of Godhead, as soon they pay obeisances, I will immediately sprout in their heart Krishna Prem. That's so nice, so loving. Therefore, out of great compassion for such souls, Mahaprabhu accepted sannyas order. So that actually, if I take sannyas, Mahaprabhu thought, I will be at least accepted all over the India, not only here, because that's how Varnashram system. Till today, if you go to Bengal, even whether you're Mayavadi or Vaishnav, doesn't matter. They see sannyas, they respect, they feel like obligated, especially the mothers. The ladies I saw, always they are very respectful to the sadhus. So nice. So he manifested his power more in South India because they are already pious people. As a sannyasi, they listened to him. As Mahaprabhu was dancing and chanting, raising hand in Srirangam, they didn't even know if he's a god, demigod, or sage, or where he's from. Just by seeing Mahaprabhu's crying, they all started crying. They all started crying. They thought maybe he's a Shiva, maybe he's a demigod, someone. But didn't matter. They all started crying. There's a Brahmana who chanting whole life, Ram, 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 Sita Ram, Sita Ram. All of a sudden seeing Mahaprabhu chanted Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And he told Mahaprabhu, as soon as I saw it, I all of a sudden started crying and chanting Krishna's name. That's how Mahaprabhu cared for. That's why he took sannyas. It's such a painful, but he felt responsibility. Another one also, care means affection. And the other two we'll talk tomorrow. But care means affection, where we also see that he had an affection for Chand Kaji. The 17th chapter also gives how actually their conversation made Mahaprabhu instantly exhibit that affection. Mama, Mama means Chand Kaji is a mama, maternal uncle. The way he addressed, when somebody breaks your mridanga, in your house you're doing kirtan. If somebody breaks your mridanga, will you go to his house and say, Mama, how are you? I miss you. Will you do that? Yes, you will do it if you care for them. Chand Kaji himself, you read chapter 17th chapter, that himself came and broke that mridanga. But next day, Mahaprabhu arranged this and he addressed him, Mama. I am here to discuss with you. Because Mahaprabhu, why he is exhibiting this kind of affection? Who is enemy? Because he cares. He told even Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Mahaprabhu was supposed to go to Vrindavan. He said, I took detour. Why? Because I care for you. This is so amazing, unbelievable. Unbelievable how Mahaprabhu is demonstrated this. Of course, you all know then at the end of the Sannas Lila, that Mahaprabhu actually came back to Navadvip, and those who could not get Krishna consciousness, they also came nearby, and they cried, and they loudly spoke while crying that you were so close before. And all those ladies, they remember Nimai, but they now realize that because of Nimai, they are feeling attraction to God, and He is God. They are so thankful, but they cannot come so close because He's sannyasi. And they cried and they cried and cried. So this way, Mahaprabhu induced everybody to chant Krishna's name, and in separation, when we chant, we progress very quick. Love of Godhead next door. If we chant in separation. So, with this note, I'll just say what I realize material life is when we put the flickering pleasure and securities of the mind and the senses in the center of our lives. Our decision, our aspiration, our goals are according. Spiritual life or true devotional Krishna consciousness is when we put pleasure of Krishna, Chaitanya, in the center of our life. What pleases Krishna? All of our decision, our aspiration, our orchestrated accordingly. Of course, we have bodies, we have minds. They are gift of Krishna. So for Krishna's pleasure, we should keep our gifts as far as possible in good condition. Means you take care of your body and mind, but for the purpose of being instrument of service. We should always remember, Nimitta Matra Bhava Sabbha Sahaji. So I'll end here exactly at 8:30. Can you believe that? By the mercy of all those Vaishnavas, I learned how to be punctual now. Is there any question, reflection, comment?
Haribol Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you
Dhanyavad.
so much for such a wonderful class and to show us how, along with Mahaprabhu, when how he took sannyas, we should also learn to give up our material attraction and affection and try to surrender to Krishna. I had a question, Prabhu, that as we heard, the Mahaprabhu was born and did his initial leelas in Navadvip. We see that the Navadvip Vasis were not very much affected by Mahaprabhu, and we see most of his where he was really appreciated South India and Jagannath Puri. But still, and Jagannath Puri, we see all his very intimate and relishing pastimes are all there. But still, when we see in Gaudiya Vaishnavism, we are very much considered Navadip Dham as almost as high, if not higher, than almost like Brindavan. Why not Jagannath Puri is certainly same. I know dham wise Ayodhya, all dhams are similar, but when you go deeper into understanding, we see Navadvip and Brindavan is comparing. Whereas Jagannath Puri is where Mahaprabhu exhibited so much wonderful pastimes, and where he was really appreciated as well. But why just Navadvip is so much appreciated is comparison to Jagannath Puri?
Hmm. Well, we can look at from different angle. In Krishna Lila and Ananta Sanghita, I believe. Yes, Ananta Sanghita explains this, that how Navadvip manifested as a private chamber of Radha, Srimati Radharani, where Krishna will not be distracted from her attention to serve. So Navadvip is a very confidential, and also a place is given that where between the Prem Sarovar, between the Radhakund and Samakund is where this Navadvip Dham actually located in Golok. So it is same, but they have two different function. One is where relishment, ashray and bishoy are reciprocating. That is Vrindavan. Krishna is bishoy. Navadvip is a where distribution of that Vrindavan rasa, Vrindavan prem, in outlet, what do you call outlet, distribution center, that's in Vrindavan. Sorry, that is in Navadvip. So there is a little difference in that sense. Otherwise, there is no difference because it is always mentioned that it is part of Vrindavan, is not separate from Vrindavan. But Navadvip, you have, of course, you can go on Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur's, that you can commit offense in Vrindavan easily, but Navadvip, there is no offense. But then ultimately, if you have a good intention to serve the Lord, then automatically you can be under guidance and connect, because it says, what is that verse? Dhamer upori jara maya pati jal achariya rakhe dham ei chirokal. Sri Krishna Chaitanya jar nahi ko sambandh, dhamer upori bas kare sei andha. Even though in Navadvip looks like a lot of people are living there, they think they are living in Navadvip, but are they living in Navadvip? That's the question. So that verse Bhaktivinoda Thakur is pointing out that no, they are not living in Navadvip. They are living on top of the curtain of Maya. And those who have a close connection with Sri Krishna Chaitanya through Guru Parampara, they actually live in Navadvip. I don't know now, but in my early days when I used to go to Navadvip, there is a place you have to pass through the fish market. It was smelling horrible. You feel like throw up sometimes. It was a horrible, you know, in the Navadvip market. Maybe right now that is not there anymore. I hope. But so Navadvip, we see that sometimes are like that. But we have to be careful because Navadvip Bashis, Bir Krishna Maharaj was very, you know, sometimes he's a very funny way, he says, joking way. He says, when I go to Vrindavan, I see the monkeys and the pigs. I fold my hand, I say, Maharaj, Dandavat, obeisances to you. I say, what do you mean, Maharaj? What does that mean? So Maharaj says, because according to what we understand, even Prabhupada says in 5th canto, that those who are advanced sadhu but could not make it because they have some desire, strong desire for sense enjoyment, they are the one who becomes monkey and pig and in Vrindavan. So that's their last life. They will go back, you know, 1 or 2 more life. They still want to enjoy the intimacy. So then they become a pig in Vrindavan. So Maharaj says he folds his hand to all the pigs and monkeys. He says, Maharaj, nice to see you. Hope you live by the end of this life, go back home. So once you are in this path, once you have taken initiation, we should meditate on that verse, that how Krishna curtail your journey. You are not on your own anymore. As long as you have under guidance, you have to meditate on that verse. Maybe tomorrow we can discuss on that. that 10.14.8, it should be memorized in the heart of every devotees, actually. So from that angle, Navadvip and Vrindavan are same and not same, both. But our connection is not Radha Krishna direct. Our connection is Mahaprabhu direct and then Radha Krishna. So from that angle, actually tomorrow or maybe next day, there will be Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu is visiting Vrindavan. We can discuss that also. Sure, that will be nice. So we should remember that our connection is not Radha Krishna directly. Our connection with Mahaprabhu directly through Nityananda Prabhu. Mahaprabhu even said one time, it's in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Amapati sneha jodi thake sabakar, Krishna boi na boliba na bolaiba. So first connection is Mahaprabhu. He did not say chant Krishna's name. He did in the beginning, but then he changed. When Nityananda Prabhu changed it, he also changed. He said, Amapati sneha jodi thake sabakar. You have to develop some affection for Mahaprabhu. Then you can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, will be effective. So in that sense, Navadvip Dham is a distribution center, is more closer to our heart than Vrindavan right now. And more we are close to Mahaprabhu and Navadvip, then we'll be more close to Vrindavan. I hope that answers yours.
Yes, Prabhu, that brought out a very different point, very nice. But my question again was, so why Jagannath Puri is not put up in comparison?
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
When of others.
sure.
So, Bir Krishna Maharaj is I love Maharaj, he's very funny. He also said when he was dressing the deities, I forgot which deity he was dressing. He said he used to make a danda and he wanted Mahaprabhu to have a danda in the dress. So he said, that's not bona fide, but I used to do. Then Prabhupada said, no, this is not. I asked him, I said, is there a picture with sannyasi? I mean, you worshipping with the danda Mahaprabhu? Because there is no Gauriya temple, you will see Mahaprabhu with danda. Jagannath Puri, sannyas kshetra. What does that means? Now, Mahaprabhu came with the mood of Srimati Radharani, he is Krishna. Srimati Radharani has a three existence. One is Vrishabhanu Nandini. This is full-fledged Biyogini Radha, little less than full-fledged, then Sangjogini Radha. In Jagannath Puri Ratha Jatra, Mahaprabhu exhibited both Biyogini and Sangjogini. But Vrishabhanu Nandini Radha is only in Gambhira or Navadvip. Navadvip is the place. That's why we Gauriya, we don't even worship Mahaprabhu in sannyas form. There is no actually Gauriya temple or ISKCON temple has a Mahaprabhu sannyas form. You will see all the temple is Grihastha form because of Vrishabhanu Nandini Radha. Vrishabhanu Nandini Radha is complete. Biyogini Radha in separation, Vipralambe Bispurti, that's a whole subject matter where Srimati Radharani is expressing this. Don't touch my feet, don't touch my feet. She's crying. Why are you doing this? Then Lolita Sukhi comes. He said, he was here. And then she noticed that Krishna's, because Krishna, when Krishna touches, which I hope we should know this, there's a 50 symbol. This has a 8, this has a 7 sign. And then the right feet as a 18 and the left feet as a 17. So that's 35 and 15 is 50, total 50 symptom. When Akrura was praying, the moment the Lord will touch my head, the Sudarshan Chakra is right below your pointer. You can meditate actually, Mahaprabhu's or Krishna's palm. So Lalita Sukhi comes, she saw that on the feet of Radharani, Krishna's fingerprint. She said, oh, he was here. Where did he go? So Radharani, this is called Vipralambe Vispurti. Krishna appears, but Krishna also relishing her intense separation feeling. For a condition so it's almost difficult to grasp it. That is Gambira. In Ratha Jatra, after long separation, we are meeting Sangjogini Radha. So there is some play game. Oh, you have a 16,108 wives. How are you doing? Do you still miss me? Do you care for me? Let's see. Mahaprabhu goes on the back of Ratha Jatra. You can read those. You can imagine like, wow, you can draw a picture. And then Ratha chariot does not move anymore. The king, of course, he didn't know, King Prataparudra, what is going on. He's thinking it's a simple, there is nothing cluttering, but the chariot is not moving. Thousands and thousands of soldiers and everybody pulling, elephant, horses, everybody pulling. Nothing moves. Why? Because Mahaprabhu is in the back. Radharani want to test. Did you miss me? I'm here. Finally, we are meeting Kurukshetra. Or you forgot, you found somebody else out of 16,108, one of look like me. Nothing moved. Then Mahaprabhu came around, the Jagannath eyes dilated, big eyes. Oh, there you are. There you are. I was searching. I could not move anywhere. Mahaprabhu put his forehead on the chariot, little move, Mukunda pull. Chariot going so fast. The thousands and thousands of soldiers could not move. This is called Samjogini, Radha's reciprocation with Krishna. Shyam Sundar, Brajendanandan. Kahare bak, kahare kahibo, keva jane mora dukha, Brajendanandana binu ate mora dukha. This is Mahaprabhu used to sing. I was singing because I was a little crazy too. I was reciting those verses. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya-lila. Beautiful. Kahare kahibo keva jane mora dukha, Brajendanandana binu ate mora dukha. Mahaprabhu would cry as a Radharani, would cry. And Jagannath was like that. That's why if you go to Jagannath temple inside, you don't see dilated eye. Only when comes in Ratha Jatra. This big picture of dilated. At that time, the painter kept track of that. So that's Sangjogini Radha. And at night, Gambira Biyogini Radha. But Vishwavanu Radha has both simultaneously. So intense separation keeps love alive. So Vishwavanu, Nandini, Radha, Krishna together, that Navadvip is higher than Jagannath Puri, higher than anywhere, South India. Godavari is another place. Mahaprabhu spent with Ramananda Rai. There's a whole explanation given about the why that place is such a famous, why Mahaprabhu spent there so much time. That is also there. So Biyogini Radha, Sangjogini Radha, all this concept, but Vishwavanu Nandini Radha is the highest. That's why Navadvip. And our acharyas are so wonderful. They gave the best, highest to us, whether we understand or not, but at least they gave us. As long as we can appreciate little bit by their mercy, and by the association, inspiration of all those devotees like you and Alachua and New Orleans devotee, hope we can all get some glimpse before we leave this world. I hope that gives you now answer. Now I got it. What is Jagannath?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much. That's such a beautiful answer. Thank you. I'm sure everybody enjoyed that answer too. We have another 10 minutes. If anybody would like to ask a question or appreciation or anything.
I see my best friend, Sarvatarak Prabhu is there.
Mm. Everybody is your best friend because you make everybody best through your mercy. So, Dandavad, Pran Govinda Prabhu, and Dandavad all the devotees, Vaishnavas. Yeah, actually, you are always emphasizing, like if you make at least one devotee, then your life will be success. And Gopal Radhe Prabhu also asked a related question, like how Mahaprabhu left Navadev and to Jagannath Puri, and some unfortunate Brahman, they didn't recognize Mahaprabhu. So since you are emphasizing how we can preach and make at least one devotee, so I know I couldn't become a devotee, but still we are trying by the mercy of Prabhupada. But most of them, we face one practical situation, like most of the people are not in the path of bhakti. They don't know Mahaprabhu, they don't know Krishna, and they do bhakti like they do other sinful activities, and they sometimes come to the temple to chant. And but this kind of people, how we can approach, initial approach, at least can start bhakti, and very difficult to make them at least four follow the four regulative principles. The initial how we can approach this.
Prabhu, I just wanted to also show you this. This is the Bhagavad Gita. Can everybody see it? This is the English Bhagavad Gita. And the preface before, above the Prabhupada's signature. I don't know if you can see it. Right above Prabhupada's signature, Prabhupada writes, if even one man becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider our attempt a success. It's Prabhupada's word.
Thank you.
One person. But then Prabhupada told to Mukunda Maharaj, who lives in New Zealand, very nice. He said a very nice secret thing. I never heard that. He said the microphone, I mentioned that other day, that when we use the microphone, I always heard microphone. So Prabhupada said, now it is spiritualized. But then Mukunda Maharaj said, oh no, Prabhupada says to me that every person worked in that microphone factory. They all got Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti, some Bhakti credit. They're all going to be, just because we are using one microphone. Can you imagine the Zoom? This is Chinese or whatever. You know how many people working for Zoom? They all got Bhakti. The bookshelf you have in the back, that you're keeping the books. The person who made it, person who brought in the shop, person who cash register, they all got little bhakti. The Sarvatarak Prabhu goes and buys sabji from the market. The people who sow the seed, people who pluck the vegetable, carry the vegetable to the shopping, and the cash register, those people carrying, putting on the shelf, everybody got bhakti. You are doing Sarvatarak Prabhu a big job, giving them Krishna consciousness. But you may not see them with the tilak immediately, but they are already on the path. That is the greatest. Just being presence anywhere, even for a gas station, even for just looking at somebody. I'm not thinking I'm doing anything. Just because they think, oh, that's a Hare Krishna. That's it. He thought this is a Hare Krishna devotee. He got a Bhakti Unmukhi Sukriti. Every devotee just being present in this world, they are infusing Bhakti in the heart of all those people. We should be satisfied with whatever. We are not looking for the result, but whatever is coming along, we should be satisfied with that. And of course, you want to see more. But you know, you're doing a wonderful service. Keep on going, Prabhu. Keep on going. That's all.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you for your blessings.
Anybody else has any questions or comments before we close the session today?
Okay, let us pay humble obeisances to each other.
Yes, Prabhu.
Vanchakalpataruvescha kripa sindhupayevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namanantagadi vaishnavbinda ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Guru Binda ki jai Samveta Vaishnavbinda ki jai. We'll see you tomorrow. What time?
Yes, Prabhu. I'll just make the announcement quick before everybody leaves. First and foremost, thank you so much, Pran Govinda Prabhu, for giving us your association. And also, thank you so much to all the devotees who are present here uh, for your association as well. And tomorrow, we have a little change in timing. Everything else remains the same. We're going to have this same link on Zoom, but tomorrow the timing is going to be 11 a.m. in the morning. That is 11 a.m. New Orleans. If you are, that is Central Time. So if you are in Eastern Time, it's going to be 1 hour later, 12 noon for you. So please make that note, and I hope to see all of you all again tomorrow. We have a wonderful presentation by Jishnu Prabhu, and today we also have come to the end of Adi Lila, and tomorrow onwards we will be starting Madhya Lila. So we have two sessions of Madhya Lila, and following that, two sessions of Anta Lila. So definitely please join. And at the end, we will be having a quiz to see how much nectar and essence you have caught. So, and I'll be asking questions about what Prabhuji has been asked, telling what has been told in the presentation from Chaitanya Charitamrita. So, I hope you all are paying attention, taking notes. Anyways, Prabhu makes it so interesting that you cannot forget. So, please make sure you pay attention and make notes about it. Also, a quick announcement for our New Orleans devotees. Tomorrow we will be welcoming His Holiness Bir Krishna Swami Maharaj, who will be coming to our temple over here in New Orleans, will be visiting us for a few days, Saturday and Sunday. We'll have wonderful program at the temple. Uh, Tomorrow evening there is a program at Antaratma Prabhu's house. It's his housewarming ceremony in his house, and Maharaj will be giving a darshan and class. That's in the evening around 4:30, 5 o'clock. Request devotees to be there, maintaining social distancing. And on Sunday we will have afternoon program starting at 11 o'clock. Sunday will be there will be yagya. Maharaj will be giving initiation, Brahman initiation. Also is a grain ceremony of one of our little new devotees who's welcome to our New Orleans community, Subhadra Dasi, daughter of Jayanta Prabhu, and Priya Manjari Mataji. And also, tomorrow is going to be the Bhakti Shastri graduation ceremony. That's big highlight of the event. A lot of our devotees participate in this wonderful virtual Bhakti Shastri course that we had. And tomorrow, all the devotees who have passed will be awarded certificates, Bhakti Shastri degree, by His Holiness Bir Krishna Maharaj. So I request all of you all to please be present by 10:30 on Sunday. Sorry, did I say tomorrow by mistake? I'm sorry. It's Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Please be at the temple so that we can welcome Maharaj. Maharaj will be giving a class 11 o'clock, and then following that, we will have the ceremony and all the other yagya and fire sacrifice, diksha ceremony also. So request all the devotees to please attend. Haribol. So thank you very much. Now we'll be starting the japa session from here. I request all of you if you can join. Hare Krishna. Thank you.